That way, if I do need spider eyes, I will have them, but I probably won't need them. Of course. I hopped in, trying to retrieve the item. Next thing I know, I'm underwater. Figures. As we have seen, there was a zombie over here, because that's pretty much the only thing that would drop rotten flesh up here. That means there was a zombie that spawned up here. However, since we were underground, we never saw the zombie itself. Boop. And then we plant that one there. And then we want that one, as well as that one, because for whatever reason I had not excavated over there, yet I did all of the ones next to it. Oh, right, because I started in on the mountain. Okay, yeah. I continue getting distracted from telling my story about Dragonus, don't I? Well, I shall do that in about 4 minutes when the video switches over. What to talk about in the meantime? Well, I could discuss how the YouTube algorithm will generate more traffic for me if you leave a like on the video. I can discuss how the Patreon page is going to help me generate better videos, more videos, better content. I can discuss how my Friday D&D sessions are going to need more players soon. Meaning, if you want me to, maybe be the GM, that's kind of the plan. I am the GM of my Friday sessions. GM, of course, standing for Game Master. I do some homebrew rules. For example, in my campaign, I am able to advance all the way up to level 80, as are any of the other players in my campaign. This does mean that we will be able to master 4 classes, which is actually the plan. You want to pick 4 classes that you want for your character. You want a character that's, of course, going to definitely have a lot of room for growth. As Gary Gygax said, there's really no reason that a player can't start off as something like a dragon or something like that, as long as it starts off weak and gets stronger over time and has some form of plan for how it's going to get stronger. You want your character to develop, you want it to grow, you want to have some form of your character getting more knowledgeable, more strong, more developed. You want your muscles getting bigger. You want your wizards getting smarter. You want your barbarians getting more muscular, more durable, more more beefy. You want your paladins to get more good-natured for the paladins, or bad-natured, depending on the paladin, actually. Some paladins aren't good paladins. Not all paladins are goody two-shoes. That's something to make a note of. A lot of what I do in my campaign involves just some form of shenanigans, And that's partially because it keeps things interesting for the players. It keeps them on their toes. And when I say it keeps them on their toes, I mean it keeps them thinking. It keeps them moving. It keeps them going. You know, always moving forward is kind of the whole point of D&D. You always want to have your character going forth with a plan in mind. My character, for example, is about to travel out to some swampland in order to retrieve a paladin friend, which we had to abandon there in order to make it back to the city in time to deliver some materials in order to allow the alchemy shop to create healing potions, so that people weren't getting charged exorbitant prices for healing potions. And I mean truly astounding prices. They were outrageous prices. Now the healing potions are going to start being a lot more normal in their pricing by the time my character, Jack Mist, gets back from the swamps. In the process of traveling to and from the swamps, Jack Mist is going to want to investigate a tree blight that Jack Mist had killed with his friends. If you're not familiar with what a tree blight is, if you're familiar with the Harry Potter series, the Whomping Willow from the Harry Potter series would be a good rough estimation of what a tree blight is. It is a gigantic tree that is alive, but not nice. We had to basically just beat the ever-loving snot out of the tree in order to prevent the tree from killing us. In the process, the tree did manage to kill a zombie. However, we were fortunate in the fact that it killed the zombie because we had not realized that the zombie was going to be a problem at the time. We, the group of players, a problem that my groups tend to have, from what I've noticed, is that my groups have a tendency to have the players just lose interest. And it's baffling to me why, because it's kind of the best kind of campaign where you're able to just develop your character naturally. What do you want your character to do? You know, if you don't like the way your character is developing, change the way they're developing. It's that simple. You know, some people will be like, well, I want a different class. It's like, okay, make that your character's goal, you know? Make it a goal to go out and find someone to teach them how to be this. Well, I want to play as a different race. Okay, do crazy, stupid, suicidal stuff until you get reincarnated. You know, just tell them, you know, if I ever die, go ahead and reincarnate me. Don't resurrect me. Reincarnate me. I want to be reincarnated. And they'll be like, well, we don't have the materials for that. And now you have a goal, you know? Suddenly, you have a goal. You're like, oh my God, I can actually, like, have a goal where I go out and I collect all of the materials to get reincarnated. And then instead of getting resurrected, I can get reincarnated. Amazing. Who'da thunk? You know? That's an option. you can do that. You know, it definitely adds a more natural aspect to the game. You know, I have a player who's playing Kenku, for example, and he kind of wants to have a different race. I think I'm going to suggest that instead of doing the whole campaign reboot, we might want to instead, see, I knew I had done that. We might want to instead have him set his character goal as wanting to get reincarnated, because being in Kenku is nice, but he's always noticed everywhere because his background is an enforcer, specifically in the town that we're in. He used to be an enforcer in that town, and now, you know, there's a chance that people might recognize him, which means he could very easily say, you know, I want to not be a Kenku because people will recognize me. And it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. You know, people might recognize you. You don't want them to recognize you. Okay. How would we go about doing that? Well, we could reincarnate. You know, but we don't know that reincarnation is an option in character yet. He could, however, go ask maybe the Temple of the Mortal God. That would be a perfect option. Temple of the Mortal God being one of the homebrew gods. I have homebrew gods in my campaign, meaning custom gods. My friend had these gods in his campaign, and my campaign was built on his campaign. And then he was like, oh, well, I don't really like playing D&D anymore. It's like, oh, you suck. Okay, well, can you at least pass me all your notes on all of these custom gods that you had? And he did, kind of. He told me about them, and I was taking notes on them, and he explained basically what they were. The gods themselves are players that used to play in his campaigns. He actually still knows those players, I think, and he was able to, you know, basically pass on their memory of, you know, their characters vicariously through me, basically. He allowed me to utilize their likeness in my campaign, and he definitely had some very colorful friends. Let's put it that way. These gods used to be, you know, players in his campaign that he was in. I don't even know if he was the host of that campaign, but they were like, yeah, sure, you know, it's fine. They can be gods. They kind of already are gods. They're level 20. They're maxed out on their level. And he was just like, okay, they're gods, and this is just them now, and you know, and it's like, okay, well, how do you play these gods? Well, each of them have their own personalities. Temple of the Mortal Gods specifically has this thing where the reason that he has that name is because he's the only one out of the 5 homebrew gods there, which in my campaign are local to the island that they're on. They're gods, yes, but they're gods locally, meaning they're minor gods. But in the region that they're in, their powers are as though they are greater gods because the other gods kind of just took a step back. They don't worship the other gods in that region. Instead, the whole island is basically dedicated to those gods. Other islands would have other gods, obviously. And it can kind of end up sort of similar to Wind Waker in that regard, where, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, where you can go to different islands and you can find that each island has its own unique thing going on. However, my players have never left the initial island in over a year. And it's like, you guys are aware there's like 50 islands, right? And they're like, there's 50 islands? It's like, yeah, this is a world. This is not a single island type situation. No, like, I didn't know what to prepare for, so I just planned for it all. I roughly know half of what the islands are going to appear as, half of what they're going to look like. There's islands for all kinds of occasions. There's an island where the primary ruling section is undead. It's just an island of undead. And there's, of course, some non-undead, but they're the minority, That's the one where you'll find a lot of the liches, a lot of the vampires, a lot of the zombies, That's one of the islands. They have no idea because they've never left the island. And it's like, well, if you've never left the island, how can you expect to really know what you're getting into? You're going into the tavern, or you're going into the Adventurers Guild looking for quests that you can do, and it's like, well, what kind of quests can you do? You're what, level 1, level 2? You're going to the Adventurers Guild looking for quests? Well, your character's not going to be interested in going and rescuing kittens, for example. Yes, it's an available quest, and yes, your character can do it, but is your character really going to be interested in going out and rescuing kittens? No, your character wants to be a hero, Therefore, a lot of the quests that you're seeing that you're able to do, that you would want to do, they're very dangerous quests. Your character might die on a lot of these quests. They're like, oh, that's fine. It's like, I'm not so sure. Think of it from your character's perspective. Is it really that fine for your character? Will your character think, oh, I might die doing this. That's fine. No, your character isn't going to think that's fine at all. Your character's going to be like, holy shit, I might die doing this. I don't want to do that. Because they're not stupid. They're crazy. They're not stupid. That's something a lot of people forget about their characters. Yes, their character is crazy. Any vast quantities of D&D is going to involve crazy characters, But just because those characters are crazy doesn't mean they're stupid. A good example is in Avatar: The Last Airbender. You have the guy named Boomy. Boomy is a lunatic. Okay, he's completely crazy. He's totally off his rocker, as they say. However, he's not stupid. He's brilliant. As a matter of fact, he's a town leader, you know. But he's not stupid. If you're wanting another example, the movie Baby. You know, they asked the mastermind character, "Hey, is the kid like retarded or something? He doesn't speak." And it's like, retarded implies that he's slow. Is the kid slow? No, he drives very fast. Okay, well, then there you go. He ain't slow. You know, it's like, well, yeah, you're technically right. He's not retarded. You know, he's smart enough to know what he's doing. He's very good at what he's doing. It's just a matter of, you know, is he communicating very well with the rest of the group? And in that show's case, in that movie's case, the kid was not communicating very well. However, that was mostly because he was just in a room full of criminals, and that, of course, does not foster very much communication. They had that whole honor amongst thieves thing going for most of the criminals in that movie. Until, of course, they encountered some issues where they just kind of didn't have everything going very well, and then they started turning on each other, and that caused more problems, and then, yeah, it just kind of devolved from there. That's Baby, in case you ever want to see that movie. Great movie. I would suggest. 10 out of 10. You know. And don't worry, it does actually have a good ending. They do manage to, I guess you could say, get away safely. The kid gets some tinnitus, but other than that, he ends up actually perfectly fine at the end. So it is a family-friendly-ish movie. Definitely parental guidance, but, you know, it's a good enough movie. You might have to explain some things to the kid if you let them see it on their own, because they do cover a lot of adult content in that movie. You know, a lot of profanity, a lot of various other things, but in the end, they have a nice ending. If they're able to stomach, you know, Deadpool, or maybe even just Green Lantern, then they might be able to stomach the movie Baby. Green Lantern, probably not the best comparison, but it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is just awesome. I do want to see Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I haven't seen that one yet. It looks very interesting, but I have not yet seen it. I don't get to see a lot of movies because I'm poor. I don't have much money. It's one of the reasons why I set up the Patreon page, is so that people could donate money to me in order to allow me to see movies every now and then, or maybe get something situated with my equipment. You know, I would love to have a better laptop, or maybe even a desktop computer, in order to be able to just record tons and tons of video easily. I don't really have a very easy method of recording at the moment. like, yeah, I can record videos and upload raw footage, but beyond the raw footage, I don't really have many options. A lot of the content that I would make would end up with some form of watermark if I tried to edit it. I'm not sure if compressing it would also create that same watermark. Oops. Here we go. Yeah, in the process of discussing all of this, over the last half an hour or so, maybe hour, I've managed to light up all of this. You can see, that went relatively quickly. That's kind of the point. The point is that as I continue to, grow my base, I will be able to more easily build up all of the different parts that I need. And the same goes for my YouTube channel. As my YouTube channel grows, I will have more subscribers. More subscribers means more viewers. More viewers means more likes on my video. More likes on my video means more viewers, which means more subscribers, which means more likes on my video. And that cycle just continues over and over. The cycle which the YouTube algorithm kind of entraps its content creators in seems a bit of a vicious cycle as it's known, because it causes the content creators to need to go out of their way to just constantly tell people, it really helps if you, hit that like button, say, I like this video, and, click it, and it really, really helps. The various aspects of the algorithm seem confusing at first, until you realize that the majority of the algorithm is just basically a self-sustaining cycle. It's sitting there saying, okay, I want more viewers. In order to get more viewers, I need to have people like my video. In order for people to like my video, I need to have viewers. Therefore, the cycle consists of someone likes the video. It suggests that video to others. It then has that video get more likes because those people like the video. Then, because those people like the video, it suggests the video to more people. And this cycle repeats over and over until it finds itself with, a few thousand likes on the video. Currently, I'm getting maybe 3 likes on the video. I have about 26 subscribers, roughly, approximately 30 subscribers. I have not many likes on my videos. However, because I have so few subscribers and so few people commenting on my videos, I'm able to go through and actually review all of the comments. I don't think I would mind playing an SMP server, a survival multiplayer server. However, it definitely would be somewhat taxing on my schedule. My schedule would definitely be strained from such a situation. Simply because I'm already recording this Let's Play for 4 hours a day. And then if I joined an SMP server, I would want to also record that gameplay for 4 hours a day, which means my recording schedule would be somewhat cramped. Even if I only record an hour a day on the multiplayer, it would definitely be a strain on my schedule, because I still have to record that hour and then upload that hour, and then I can go and utilize all kinds of different things that are available on servers that are multiplayer as opposed to single player. I know that I can talk to my friend Kyle about setting up a multiplayer server. However, he kind of has a tendency to just go do whatever. Not the biggest fan of his style of Minecraft, because he loves to, do things very, let's just say, weirdly. Not very legitimately. Let's put it that way. I try and play utilizing normal methods, normal means of gameplay. And I know Kyle definitely enjoys playing Minecraft. I know he enjoys playing Minecraft. However, he doesn't really do much vanilla, from what I've noticed. He seems to do more of the modded Minecraft. He prefers Java a lot. Which means he probably would not be very interested in, for example, doing a Let's Play series with me. That's fine. He might be interested in doing a Let's Play series with me, but he would prefer doing the Let's Play series on Java Edition. And that's fine too. But I don't have Java Edition, and that's kind of a problem. I don't have Java Edition. Therefore, I can't really do a Java Let's Play because I don't have that. I just don't have it. I would love to be able to play Java Edition. I'm very skilled at Java Edition, especially with Applied Energistics 2 or whatever version they're on currently. But the Applied Energistics mod, I'm very familiar with. I could actually sit here and just go through and tell you all about Applied Energistics mod. But, that's not what we're playing. We're playing Bedrock Edition, where I don't have access to Applied Energistics. Instead, I have just regular default Bedrock Edition. It's more difficult, obviously. It's more time intensive, yes. But at the same time, it's also kind of a little bit easier because of the fact that it's just kind of normal-ish, it's difficult, but it's consistently difficult. It's a type of difficult that is not going to catch you off guard. It's a type of difficult that's just always going to be there as that same difficulty. it's like when they say, yes, they're bad, but they're consistently bad. You know, so you can kind of build around that. You want some form of consistency in your life. Without consistency, there's really no way to grow. That's why you start, lighting up the place, for example, because as you light up your base, you will find that more consistently you have less mobs, you have less enemies to deal with. Yeah, you'll get occasionally sheep and cows and all that, but you can build things that are able to deal with that. If I wanted to, I could go out in the nether and I could come back with a bunch of soul sand, and I could just put soul sand all over the ground up here, and then all of a sudden these goats would not be able to do anything because goats just stop working on soul sand for whatever reason. It's not a full block, and thus goats just mess up. I think it's actually less because it's a full block and more because soul sand actually reduces your speed while you're walking on it, unless you have the soul speed enchantment on your boots. I don't have that enchantment on my boots. Similar to how there is a enchantment for traveling faster underwater as well. I don't have that enchantment. I have Aqua Affinity on my helmet. I have Respiration on my helmet, Respiration 3 specifically. But I don't have any form of enchantment that would allow me to travel faster underwater. The skeleton horse, however, can travel very fast underwater. Therefore, I want the skeleton horse to stay alive. I want to keep the skeleton horse, because that skeleton horse is going to prove useful. I'm going to make very good use of that skeleton horse when I go to build basically an overland pathway to the nearest village. I can do underground pathway, but underground paths also have an issue where if you're going to do an underground path, you might as well go ahead with an entire just massive excavation machine. You're going to want something that's going to basically consistently grab the blocks, bring them back to you, and then allow you to mine them while it goes and queues up the next set of blocks. You're going to want a machine that's not going to break itself when it becomes full. You want it to keep trying to push itself. Therefore, instead of just relying on observers, you're going to want to rely on blocks of redstone, because you want to... you can rely on observers. You just need to make sure that when the observers are, full, when the machine is locked up, that the observers are creating a redstone clock that's allowing it to constantly fire off, so that when it starts back up, it will start back up, A, going the same direction it was going before, and B, if it's not going the same direction it was before, then it will at least eventually figure out which direction to go, and then it will eventually start just working properly. It will require some obsidian to catch the redstone, obviously, or to catch the flying machine, obviously, or some other form of immovable block that will not get swept away by the flying machine. You will need to remember to have some way to deal with water sources, lava sources. You will want to have some way to deal with any ore deposits that you find. You don't want to have it break all of the ore. All kinds of other features that you're going to want in your flying machine. And you kind of got to plan this stuff out in advance, because if you don't, then you're just going to end up with your flying machine stuck in a wall somewhere, and then you're not going to be very happy. Okay, so this is a good example of why we light up our builds. This skeleton spawned on this hill and then managed to start shooting me because it spawned just barely at the edge of the spawn range on this hill. There's not really many other places for the skeleton to spawn, and because I wasn't looking where I was going, I ended up getting shot by an arrow. Oh, now there's a zombie. Yeah. I was going to say, I got lucky because it wasn't a creeper. That being said, that guy looked a lot like a creeper. Let me go ahead and eat this rotten flesh because I don't actually need all that much rotten flesh. Let me sleep in the bed. Yeah, that half moon is decent looking. The thing I have a problem with is I believe it's the waning moon? Hi, zombie. You're a zombie villager. But, whatever. Because I was actively engaged in battle with them, because I had hit them, they dropped experience. That is something to consider. That's probably actually why Trident killers work as what is considered a player kill, because whichever player lasts through the Trident is considered to have hit whatever monster has, died. That's kind of probably the source of how a Trident killer actually operates. Because of that, I actually like Trident killers. Trident killers are one of the things that I like about Bedrock Edition. It makes kill chambers very easy. You don't have to sit there and harvest up all of the monsters yourself. You can instead just create a nice little AFK spot where you can just stand there, gather some experience for a little while, gather up any items you need. You can actually set up an automatic item filter so that it's just auto-sorting all of your items for you. There's all kinds of nifty things you can do with a Trident killer. The Trident killer, of course, being named because you're using a Trident to kill the monsters. You're pushing a Trident around, and the monsters are getting affected by this Trident moving around. They essentially stub their toes to death. It's kind of silly how it functions, but that is essentially what is happening. The monsters are basically just stubbing their toes until they die. It's silly, but it's very effective. It cleans up monsters very nicely, gets rid of them all, makes it so that they're not a problem, and I like that. We got an autosave going on, and yeah. Anyways, I said I was going to talk about Dragonis like 40 minutes ago. Dragonis had found Atlantis. She wandered in. She was like, wow, what is this place? They were like, oh, this is Atlantis. Well, a portion of Atlantis. This is one of the 4 farms that broke off from Atlantis. The main core of Atlantis is still out there somewhere as well. We're all just kind of going about our way as we travel. And it's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Like, how does this place survive underwater? Like, how does it move? Like, this thing needs to move somehow, right? How is this thing moving? And they were like, oh, well, we got this crystal. Steve over there is actually supposed to go and clean up the crystal room. If you want, he can, I guess, give you a tour. Just don't touch anything, okay? It's like, yeah, sure. Just being able to see how this massive place moves, that's pretty amazing. Awesome. Hades said, be interesting. Well, I found Atlantis, and I found how it moved. I'd say that's pretty interesting. It's like, yeah, that's pretty interesting. You're right. That is true. That is a very interesting thing to find. Okay? And so I, as I went to explore the main power room, the main core of Atlantis, my character found what was a massive blood ruby that stood, I think he said it was something like 30 feet tall or something. And keep in mind, the blood rubies, we had been offered 2,000 for a blood ruby that was roughly the size of our pinky, which is like, 3 inches tall. When she walked into this room, Dragonis found a blood ruby that was over 30 feet tall at 12 inches per foot, which is quite a lot. That would be, in Minecraft, that's 10 blocks tall, which means just a 10 by 10 cube of blood rubies, and a 3 by 1 inch shard of that is worth 2,000 gold, or 200 platinum if you're doing the 10 to 1 conversion. And it's like, holy gods. Just wow. Okay, that is just wow. That's amazing. That is stupendous, astounding. That's enough to fill one with exuberance. It's definitely something that is enough to open one's eyes from the character's perspective, where it's just like, you guys have that? They're like, well, yeah. I didn't want to drop the bow. Thought I was targeting the cobblestone. Here, let me drop the rotten flesh, actually. That's a much better option for something to put down. Make sure I don't wander off the ledge behind me. Okay. I had 28 cobblestone just lying on the ground there. Let me go put this rotten flesh away over here at the farm. In this chest over here. Right there. Just got to get in range, open up the chest, throw the stuff in. Make sure I don't have any leads or bones. Fish, spider eye, gunpowder. Make sure all this stuff is situated. Yep, okay. I can go back over here. Let me just... yeah. The surrealism of being able to locate something so amazingly valuable was definitely an eye-opening experience for Dragonus, because Dragonus had not expected to find anything anywhere near that valuable. I'm going to start transferring some of this dirt down here as well. Let me go ahead and just drop all of this stuff into the water stream. And then I will open up one of these. Do, 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 do. I can start converting this entire section over here into my quick storage so that I don't have to constantly go down here to retrieve my items or to deposit my items. Instead, I can deposit my items up there on the surface, where I am able to make use of various other storage barrels. Now I want this one, and then I just deposit all of this into here. Oops. Okay. Now I go over here, deposit any flint, gravel, diorite, granite, andesite, more andesite, more diorite. I can deposit the 3 coal blocks that I have as coal blocks. Oh, I hear you, Enderman. Don't think I don't hear you. I hear you. There's an Enderman running around in my base here. It's like, don't think I don't hear you over there. Do 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 do. Okay, and then I can deposit this temporarily over here. I can grab more stuff. Fortunately, my base down here is not made out of anything that an Enderman is able to normally grab. Therefore, I don't really need to concern myself with what the Enderman is actually up to. Instead, I'm able to easily ignore him if I so desire, as long as he doesn't, start attacking me. That being said, I do need more ender pearls. Gimme your ender pearls. Yeah, you're gonna have to come at me from the front. Where you at? Did you just... He teleported into the wall. Either that or he teleported into the ravine next to my base. Come on, Enderman. I know you're in there. He can't fit up here. However, I'm fairly sure what he did was he went next to my base. I don't even know where he's getting these dirt blocks from because he didn't get it from me. You know, I think he just suffocated himself in the wall, which is kind of a silly way for him to die. He was like, I teleport this way 5 blocks. It's like, there's no survivable space over there. Whoops. It's like, yeah, whoops indeed. I think I heard him die, you know, but I'm not sure because I can't find him anywhere. Yeah. I think I will start moving the dirt. Let me sleep in the bed. Myself a good view of the kelp farm. Check on the kelp farm. Nope, nothing yet. Still got plenty of kelp queued up, just in case. Yeah, I think he might be grabbing the dirt from up here, but even still, he's not very good at being an Enderman if he keeps dying in a wall. You know, Endermen aren't supposed to go teleporting into a wall. That's not how this works. Oops. That was painful. Yeah. I'm not finding anything here. Ba-dum. Let's see, was I...